There are moments in life when people doubt you so deeply that even you begin to question your own worth. They look at your struggles, your delays, your failures, and they quietly assume that you will never rise. Some may even say it openly. They wanted you to fail, not because you deserved it, but because your potential made them uncomfortable. But understand this, when people underestimate you, it is often a sign that Allah has placed something within you that they cannot see. You went through days when nothing made sense. Nights when your heart was heavy and your eyes carried tears that no one noticed. You tried, you failed, you stood up again. You made dua when no one was listening. You kept going when quitting felt easier. And in those silent battles, something powerful was happening. Allah was building you. You see, success is not just about reaching a destination. It is about who you become in the process. The patience you develop, the strength you gain, the trust you build in Allah. Every hardship was not there to break you, but to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to your Creator. There were people who laughed at your dreams, people who spoke behind your back, people who thought you would never make it. But what they didn't realize is that your journey was never dependent on their opinion. It was written by Allah long before they ever knew your name. Sometimes Allah delays your success so that when it finally comes, it is undeniable. So that even those who doubted you are forced to recognize the transformation. And one day, the same people who once looked down on you will look at you with amazement. Not because you sought their approval, but because Allah elevated you beyond their expectations. But here is something important. Do not let success change your heart. When you rise, remain humble. When you achieve, remain grateful. Because the same Allah who lifted you can test you again. True success is not just in what you gain, but in how you carry yourself after gaining it. Remember the pain. Remember the struggles. Not to hold grudges, but to stay grounded. Let your story be a reminder that no matter how many times you fall, you can rise again with sincerity, patience, and trust in Allah. And when people begin to admire you, when they say, "I wish I could be like you," do not let it enter your heart as pride. Instead, let it remind you of where you came from. Let it remind you that everything you have is from Allah. Because the reality is this, they didn't just want you to fail, they expected it. But Allah had a different plan. A plan greater than their assumptions. A plan that turns your pain into power, your dawf into strength, and your struggle into success. So keep going, stay patient, stay sincere, and trust that the one who brought you this far will take you even further. People will always have opinions about you, especially when they see you trying to become something greater than what they are used to. They will look at your current situation and assume that it defines your future. They will judge your abilities based on your past mistakes, your slow progress, or even your moments of weakness. But what they fail to understand is that their perception is limited, while your destiny is written by Allah. When someone doubts you, it often says more about their mindset than it does about your capability. They see from a narrow lens, focusing only on what is visible. They do not see your late nights, your silent struggles, your constant efforts to improve, or the prayers you whisper when no one is around. They do not see the connection you are building with Allah, and that is where your real strength lies. There will be times when their words affect you. You may start questioning yourself, wondering if they are right. You may feel discouraged, thinking that maybe you are not good enough, not strong enough, or not capable enough. But in those moments, you must remind yourself that people do not have the authority to define your future. Only Allah does. Your journey is unique. it is not meant to be understood by everyone. Some people will only believe in you when they see results, but by then, the real work would have already been done in silence. The patience you showed, the effort you put in, and the faith you held on to, all of that happens long before success becomes visible. Sometimes Allah allows people to doubt you so that you turn back to Him. So that instead of seeking validation from people, you seek strength from your Creator. Because when you rely on people, you will always feel uncertain. But when you rely on Allah, you find a sense of peace that no opinion can shake. Do not waste your energy trying to prove people wrong. That is not your mission. Your mission is to grow, to improve, and to stay sincere in your efforts. Let your actions speak over time. Let your consistency show what words never can. Because real success does not come from convincing others. It comes from becoming who Allah created you to be. And remember, many of the people who doubt you today will be the same ones who admire you tomorrow. Not because you changed for them, but because you stayed committed to your path despite them. They will wonder how you did it, how you rose above the negativity, how you kept going when everything seemed against you. The truth is simple. You did not let their doubt become your reality. You chose to believe in what Allah can do for you instead of what people think about you. And that choice changes everything. There are moments in life when everything feels like it is falling apart. Plans don't work out, doors close unexpectedly, and you find yourself facing challenges you never asked for. In those times, it is easy to think that something is going wrong. It is easy to feel like you are being pushed backward instead of moving forward. But what you often fail to realize is that these struggles are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater. Growth has never come from comfort. If life were always easy, you would never develop the strength, patience, and resilience needed to handle bigger responsibilities. Every difficulty you face carries a lesson, even if you cannot see it immediately. Sometimes the lesson is patience. Sometimes it is humility. And sometimes it is teaching you to rely on Allah instead of your own limited understanding. When you go through hardship, it changes you. It forces you to think deeper, to reflect, and to realign your priorities. You begin to understand what truly matters and what does not. You start letting go of things that once felt important, but were actually holding you back. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to grow into a stronger version of yourself. It is also in these moments of struggle that your connection with Allah becomes stronger. When everything is going well, it is easy to become distracted. But when you are struggling, you turn to Him with sincerity. Your du'as become more heartfelt. Your reliance becomes more real. And that connection is one of the greatest blessings you can ever have. Sometimes Allah tests those He loves the most, not to punish them, but to elevate them, to purify their hearts, to prepare them for a level they could never reach without going through difficulty. Think about it. If you were given everything easily, would you truly appreciate it? Would you truly grow, or would you remain the same? The struggle you are facing right now is shaping your future. It is building qualities within you that success alone cannot give. It is teaching you how to handle pressure, how to stay patient in uncertainty, and how to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. And one day you will look back and understand why things happened the way they did. You will realize that what felt like a setback was actually a setup for something better. That what felt like a delay was actually perfect timing. that what felt like a burden was actually a blessing in disguise. So do not lose hope in your difficult moments. Do not think that you are being left behind. You are being prepared. Every hardship is a step in your journey, not the end of it. Keep trusting Allah. Keep pushing forward. And know that nothing you are going through is without purpose. There are two powerful forces that can completely transform your life if you hold on to them sincerely: patience and dawah. In a world that constantly pushes you toward instant results, quick success and immediate answers, patience feels difficult. You want things to happen now. You want your efforts to show results right away. But life does not work on your timing. It works on Allah's perfect timing. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about how you behave while you are waiting. It is about staying consistent even when you see no results. It is about controlling your frustration when things do not go your way. It is about trusting that even when nothing seems to be changing, something is happening behind the scenes that you cannot yet see. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when you feel like your efforts are going unnoticed, your prayers are unuttered, and your journey is not leading anywhere. But that is exactly when patience matters the most, because giving up in that moment means you are walking away just before things begin to change. And this is where dua becomes your strength. Dua is not just a request, it is a connection. It is a conversation between you and Allah, where you express your hopes, your fears, your struggles, and your dreams. When you make dua, you are not just asking for an outcome. You are placing your trust in the one who controls all outcomes. Sometimes you may feel like your duas are not being answered. You keep asking, but nothing seems to change. But understand this: no sincere dua is ever wasted. Allah responds in ways you may not expect. Sometimes He gives you exactly what you asked for. Sometimes He delays it because the timing is not right. And sometimes He gives you something better than what you asked for. The combination of patience and dua creates a powerful mindset. You keep working, you keep striving. But at the same time, your heart remains at peace because you know that the result is in Allah's hands. You are no longer anxious about when it will happen because you trust that it will happen at the right time. Patience also protects your heart from negativity. It stops you from comparing your journey with others. It helps you stay focused on your own path instead of being distracted by what others are achieving. Because what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. When you hold on to patience and continue making dua, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. You become stronger, calmer, and more focused. And eventually, when things start to fall into place, you will realize that every moment of patience, every sincere dua, and every tear you shed in private played a role in bringing you to where you are. So keep making dua even when it feels like nothing is changing. Keep being patient even when it feels difficult, because these two are not just acts. They are your greatest weapons on the journey to becoming who you are meant to be. What people often see as success is only the final result. The visible outcome, the moment when everything seems to come together. They see the achievement, the recognition, the confidence, and they assume it happened easily or quickly. But what they do not see are the countless silent battles that took place long before that moment ever arrived. Behind every success story is a chapter filled with struggle that no one talks about. It is in the early mornings when you wake up tired but still choose to keep going. It is in the late nights when you feel exhausted but refuse to quit. It is in the moments when you doubt yourself but still take another step forward. These are the unseen efforts that truly build success. There are battles you fight within yourself that no one else understands. The fight against fear, against procrastination, against negative thoughts that try to convince you that you are not capable. Sometimes, the biggest obstacle is not the world around you, but the voice inside your own mind. And learning to control that voice, to replace doubt with belief, is one of the hardest yet most important victories you can achieve. There are also emotional struggles that shape you in ways nothing else can. The disappointment when things do not go as planned, the pain of being overlooked or underestimated, the loneliness of walking a path that others do not support or understand. These experiences test your resilience. They force you to either give up or grow stronger. And every time you choose to keep going, you are building a version of yourself that is capable of handling greater challenges ahead. What makes these battles even more powerful is that they often happen in silence. You do not always have an audience cheering you on. In fact, sometimes the very people around you may not even notice what you are going through. But that is where sincerity is built. When you continue to strive without recognition, when you stay committed without validation, you are proving to yourself that your journey is not dependent on others. It is driven by your own purpose and your trust in Allah. It is also in these hidden struggles that your character is developed. You learn discipline when no one is watching. You learn patience when there is no immediate reward. You learn humility because you understand how difficult the journey truly is. These qualities are what sustains success once it arrives, because without them, success can easily fade. And one day, when people look at you and admire how far you have come, they will not fully understand what it took to get there. They will see the result, but they will not see the process. They will not feel the weight of the struggles you carried or the strength it took to overcome them. But you will know. And more importantly, Allah knows. So never underestimate the value of your silent battles. They are not meaningless struggles. They are the very foundation of your success. Every effort, every tear, every moment of persistence is shaping a future that is worth it. Keep going even when no one sees it, because the unseen work is what creates the seen success. When success finally comes your way, it can feel overwhelming. After all the struggles, the patience, the silent efforts, and the countless du'as, you begin to see the results you once only dreamed about. Doors start opening, people begin to notice you, and opportunities come your way. It is a beautiful moment, but it is also a very delicate one, because how you carry yourself after success matters just as much as how you struggled before it. One of the greatest tests is not failure, it is success. Because success can slowly change your heart if you are not careful. It can make you forget where you started. It can make you believe that you achieved everything on your own. It can make you look at others differently, even though you were once in their position. This is why staying humble is not just important, it is necessary. Humility keeps you grounded. It reminds you that everything you have is from Allah. Your abilities, your opportunities, your strength, and your achievements, none of it would be possible without His permission. When you truly understand this, arrogance has no place in your heart. Instead, you feel gratitude. You feel a deep sense of thankfulness for how far you have come and for everything you have been given. It is easy to be humble when you have nothing, but true humility is shown when you have everything and still choose to lower yourself. When you treat others with kindness regardless of their status. When you listen more than you speak. When you help others rise instead of looking down on them. These are the signs of a person who understands the true meaning of success. Remember the days when you struggled, the moments when you felt lost, when you had nothing, when you were praying for the very things you now have. Those memories are not meant to hold you back. They are meant to keep you grounded. They remind you of how much you needed Allah then and how much you still need Him now. Staying humble also protects you from losing what you have gained. Because when a person becomes arrogant, they begin to rely on themselves instead of Allah. And when that happens, they become vulnerable. But when you remain humble, you continue to seek Allah's guidance, you continue to make dua, and you continue to acknowledge that without Him, you are nothing. Another important part of humility is giving credit where it is due, recognizing the people who supported you, who believed in you, who made dua for you, appreciating them, and never acting as if you did everything alone. Gratitude towards people is a option of gratitude towards Allah. As your status rises, your responsibility also increases. You become an example for others. People start looking up to you, not just for what you have achieved, but for how you carry yourself. This is your opportunity to inspire, to guide, and to show that success and humility can go hand in hand. So when Allah elevates you, do not let it change your character for the worse. Let it refine you. Let it soften your heart. Let it bring you closer to Him. Because true success is not just reaching a high position. It is reaching that position while keeping your heart pure, your intentions sincere, and your humility intact. There will always be a gap between what people expect for you and what Allah has written for you. People make judgments based on what they see. Your current situation, your past failures, your limitations. They create expectations, and sometimes those expectations are very small. They assume you will only go so far, achieve so much, and remain within the boundaries they have imagined for you. But what they do not realize is that Allah's plan is far greater than any expectation created by Balbashar. When you start depending on people's expectations, you limit yourself. You begin to shape your goals around what others think is possible instead of what Allah has made possible for you. And this is where many people lose their true potential. They shrink their dreams, they hold back their efforts, and they stop believing in what they could actually become. Trusting Allah's plan means letting go of that limitation. It means understanding that your life is not controlled by opinions, but by divine wisdom. It means believing that even when things do not go according to your plan, they are still going according to a plan that is better for you. There will be moments when you feel confused, when doors close and you do not understand why. When opportunities disappear and you feel like you are moving backwards, in those moments it is easy to fall into doubt, to question what is happening, and to wonder if things will ever work out. But this is exactly where trust becomes essential. Trusting Allah is not about having all the answers. It is about having certainty even when you do not understand. It is about believing that every delay has wisdom, every hardship has purpose, and every outcome is part of something greater that you cannot yet see. Sometimes what you want is not what is best for you. And Allah, in His infinite knowledge, knows this. So He redirects you. He closes certain doors and opens others. He removes things from your life and replaces them with something better. But at the moment it happens, It may not feel like a blessing. It may feel like loss, like disappointment, like confusion. But later when you look back, everything starts to make sense. You begin to see how each event, each delay, each unexpected turn was guiding you exactly where you needed to be. You realize that if things had gone according to your plan, you might have missed something far greater. People's expectations will always change. Today, they may doubt you. Tomorrow, they may praise you. But Allah's plan remains constant. It is perfect, precise, and designed specifically for you. And when you place your trust in that plan, you free yourself from the pressure of trying to meet everyone else's standards. So stop measuring your life based on what others think you should achieve. Stop comparing your journey to theirs. Focus on your path, your growth, and your relationship with Allah. Because in the end, it is not about proving people wrong. It is about fulfilling the purpose Allah has created you for. And when you truly trust His plan, you will find a peace that no expectation can give, a confidence that no opinion can shake, and a direction that will always lead you exactly where you are meant to be.